Hi, my name is Mel, and I'm an atheist, and I'm going to whack an atheist. And I want to talk about what it is and why do any of us care, right? Kent Hovind is some kind of creationist, young earth creationist, as far as I can determine, that has whack an atheist videos that are very widely criticised because they rely on misrepresentation, mockery, and scientific inaccuracies rather than any genuine ideas or debate or like doing their own experiments. No. So, multiple sources describe him as potentially being very dishonest and grifting, not as an insult, but because of documented behaviour, public record, and patterns in his arguments. So, why are his methods considered deceptive? Okay, the series is not a scientific critique. So, Whack an Atheist is not scientific critique. It does not perform any research. It does not look at any scientific papers. It does not look at anything that's relevant. He equates evolution with atheism, which is ridiculous because one has absolutely nothing to do with the other. And he also says, I believe that he says this frequently, that evolution is a religion. And it's clearly not. It is the basis of science. He says it's not science, so he's dishonest in the extreme. And the only way he gets a lot of money too, I believe, from what I can tell anyway, that it really depends on him. He has been corrected so many times and been given evidence, and he just doesn't care. He keeps saying, we all believe we came from a rock. And it is so much more complicated than that. Because he is talking about abiogenesis, which minerals and elements, which are, like we got 118 elements in the elemental chemical table, it being diluted in water, so you're talking minerals and elements and also amino acids that form together like nobody's business. They form together very easily. They form together on meteorites. They're saying that because that's sort of where abiogenesis starts from, because that seems the most likely cause, that minerals and elements started chemical synthesis first, and then slowly, because you can get lipids that will form a protocell, and probably RNA first, then DNA, and then came into the protocell. And the very first basic cells probably evolved from there. But like he's saying, we all think we evolved from rock. No, 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 no. The minerals and elements in the water formed chemically the necessary molecules to get life going. It's not from a rock that's saying minerals and elements, okay? But he's been corrected and he doesn't care. The series is not a scientific critique. It's a reaction style live stream where Hovind mocks atheists and science communicators instead of engaging with any of the material or the actual arguments, because he's trying to just make money from people who think that in order to be a Christian, I believe, because I think he's in America, that to be the right sort of Christian, you have to be a creationist, and you absolutely don't. A lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims, a lot of other people accept evolution because it is a fact and still believe in God, and they understand that the stories that are in the Bible about creation, the two different stories that are in Genesis, are just that, stories. They are not represented in any kind of reality. It is not God's word. None of these texts are. Okay? None of these scriptural texts, whether Bible, the Quran, or anything else, have been written or influenced by God. Now, you can believe in a God, you can believe that God may have something to do with it. I don't know, that's up to you. Right? But certainly the creationist, two different creationist stories that happened in Genesis of the Bible did not occur. They are not science. It's just ridiculous. Noah's flood never happened, okay? It is absurd. All right? So he likes to caricature opponents. He avoids any real-time correction. He's never honest or fair, rallying his followers rather than presenting any evidence. Yep. And he misrepresents evolution all day long. He routinely claims evolution teaches things it does not. He says that dogs turn into owls. It's obviously, or a dog can give birth to a cat. No, dogs will always give birth to dogs because that's cladistics and that is evolution, right? There's no such thing as a kind. There are clades, and all life on Earth is related. We are related to everything else. Everything else is related to us. So while dogs and whales are related, a dog can't turn into a whale. Okay, or a whale can't turn into a dog. Nothing exploded and created everything. The universe expanded from a hot, dense state. Right? Evolution is a religion, which it clearly is not. These are straw man and dishonest arguments. They attack a distorted version of evolution, not any real theory. Misusing scientific terminology. He frequently misuses thermodynamics, information theory, and probability, and has little to no understanding or care about any of it. This is why even Christians on forums describe him as scientifically illiterate or misleading. And look, honestly, I feel he's downright dishonest. I think if you follow anything this guy says, you have been led a very false lead, all right? So I don't think this guy is a good representation of Christians or Christianity myself. I really don't. And I think if you follow any of these young earth creationists, you are not doing Christianity any favours. Okay? And if you follow young earth creationism or some form of creationism or intelligent design in any other religion, you are just making yourself look and your religion look silly. I mean, it does not mean that God can't have created the natural forces if that's what you want to believe, and somehow guided natural processes. Right? It does not mean that. But to try and say that, oh, evolution did not happen or does not happen, and that, oh, that the God must have designed things, that's ridiculous. There's no evidence of that. All right? It's just that is just the way it is. So he tries to, has false dichotomies like creation versus evolution. There's no argument. Creation did not happen. Evolution does. All right? It does not happen. Creation does not happen. Creationism's a load of garbage. Evolution happens. God or chaos? Well, okay, depends on the God you believe in or chaos that you think is. And this ignores actual scientific method and creates a false choice, which is silly and I think is very unreasonable. And he does circular reasoning. He often assumes the Bible is true to prove creationism, then uses creationism to prove the Bible. This is not evidence, it's presupposition. He mocks people instead of any sort of actual reasoned argumentation based on any evidence. His whack and atheist format is built around ridicule, not any kind of reasoning or evidence or looking at any kind of scientific peer-reviewed papers. All right. Even critics reacting to his videos note that he repeats himself, avoids any substance, and relies on insults. It's how he makes his money. So this is just a grift. In my very big opinion, it's a grift. And so why do people call him dishonest or a grifter? Why, in some people's opinion, is he that? They aren't personal attacks. They come from his patterns of behaviour noted by both atheists and Christians. There's been documented legal issues. Reddit discussions reference his history as a tax-dodging criminal, which is a matter of public record. Repeating claims long after they've been debunked. A hallmark of grifting is continuing to use arguments that have been disproven for decades because they're profitable or popular with followers. Hovind continues to use entropy disproves evolution argument, or no transitional fossils claim, dinosaurs lived with humans claim. And these are all silly, okay? Entropy does not disprove evolution. There are lots of transitional fossils, and the only dinosaurs that live with humans currently or have ever lived with humans are birds, which are theropod dinosaurs. Okay, birds are living dinosaurs. So dinosaurs do live with humans, but they're birds. They're avian dinosaurs, okay? And these have been refuted again and again and again, and he doesn't care. Because they resonate with people who basically want to believe in idiotic creationist things that make them feel better about themselves, I guess. I think, believing that God created you and you've got a special purpose of God makes you feel good. You can feel special and you can feel that you're wonderful, and you don't need to have that opinion. You can accept evolution. Humans are animals. We are apes. We are a species of monkeys. That is just the way it is. Okay? Denying it doesn't make it any less true, and crying about it isn't going to change it. Okay? It does not mean we're not special. Yes, we are. To each other, to ourselves. All right? We are special because we can decide we are. We don't need an external. And if you believe in some God, yes, God used evolution then, okay? God used natural processes to make life. Why on earth would God have to use special creation when there's perfectly good natural ones occurring? Okay, so if you're going to believe in a God, great. Good for you. I don't care. His series is literally dedicated to whacking atheists, which is one, very violent and aggressive, and described as harassment. Even Christians describe as harassment, and it's very dishonest. And he's just sort of going, "Oh, look how good I am! I'm going to whack these people." And look, I don't, apart from what I've researched for this video, I don't know Kent Hovind. I don't live in America, I'm Australian. And yes, I'm an atheist, I used to be Christian. And when I was a Christian, I believed in evolution because it is a fact. We were raised a good education system in Australia. I was raised to understand the science and the scientific method and how evolution works, unlike America, where just even talking about evolution apparently is no, which is absurd. So he monetizes outrage. His videos, debates, and merchandise are structured around sensational titles, attacking opponents, rallying supporters, and it's a classic grift model: create conflict and monetize reaction. Why do his arguments collapse under scrutiny? When you strip away all of his theatrics, his reasoning fails because he attacks positions that atheists and scientists don't actually hold. He uses scientific terms incorrectly despite repeated correction. He avoids peer-reviewed evidence despite being pointed to that too. He relies on mockery instead of logic, in spite of that being pointed out multiple times, and repeats claims disproven by both science and theology. Even Christians who believe in creationism, which why, I don't know, will often reject Hovind because his behaviour and arguments damage their credibility. And look, honestly, sorry, if you're a Christian who's a creationist, you don't have any credibility. There's no credibility in creationism, period. It is just silly. You can be Christian without being a creationist, and you should explore that, I think, because if you try and look, creationism did not happen, does not happen, evolution does, okay? That just is. So look, I think he has had debates with some famous atheists, and I'm not a famous atheist. I mean, like, I'm a nobody, right? I'm just some 60-year-old disabled atheist who occasionally makes video on tech, makes video about all sorts of stuff. And I'm making a video about this because I've seen some of his stuff, and quite honestly, I'm just irritated. All right, so whether, whatever happens as a result of this, I don't really care. He can whack on me, probably won't, because I'm unimportant in the scheme of things. Because I don't matter. I don't. Science matters. It's not that I disvalue myself, but science doesn't matter. Science matters, and, I don't in the scheme of things. Can I matter to myself? Sure. friends and family, sure, but, whatever Kent Hovind thinks of me, I couldn't give a flying rat's behind, you know. I mean, honestly, the guy needs to shut the hell up. I think he's not helping himself. And apparently there's been accusations, I don't know, of him maybe being domestically violent. I don't know, because I don't live in America. I mean, America is the land of the crazy. And I'm saying that, and I love a lot of American people, but your country's freaking crazy. You're crazy. I don't know how else to say that to you. Anyway, this is me. Bye.